Well, hello again, all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. And yes, that's right, it is Bumpy Road again.
Yeah.
He is with me, and this is one of the beers that I'm providing, one of the few beers that I'm providing. He's provided all the other beers for all the other reviews that we've done.
Check this out, Joe.
But
Beer Patrol, look at it.
there
I'm
we go.
doing it.
The Bourbon County Classic Cola Stout. So there was a little bit of, I guess, a misunderstanding on my part. I thought that this was somehow aged in a cola type container, but that's not it at all. It's the standard Bourbon County with additional ingredients. It's a bourbon barrel aged stout with brown sugar, citrus, coriander, spices, and natural vanilla flavor. 2021, this is the first year that they, or 2021, excuse me, it's the first year and possibly the only year that they released this particular variant of the Bourbon County. I love the red label, the red and blue there.
It's like R&B cola.
Yeah, just yes. What do you mean, RC Cola?
RC cola.
RC Cola, yeah.
R&B.
R&B. We were listening to some R&B.
Whatever.
Anyway, yeah. RC Cola. Anyway, 14.0% alcohol. It's really all that they provide on the label. It just says our take on a classic American cola. So let's just get right into it. This is at room temperature. Took it out of the fridge a while ago.
So I'm curious as to if people that really enjoy Coca-Cola, any Pepsi Cola, any type of cola drink, if they were to drink beers, if they would like wit beers. Because coriander and other spices are typically added to wit beers.
Yes. So the Belgian wit. The coriander is probably the main.
And orange peel.
Mm-hmm.
You usually get clove.
So there's your pour. It is pretty much a black appearance.
Thin head.
Thin, I would say tan colored head.
Yeah. It's not, wow, I got a whiff of that.
Now, it does have alcohol legs when you swirl it around.
Yeah, well, you don't even have to swirl it, yeah. It's got alcohol legs.
Alcohol legs. Nice when you swirl it around, too, the head regeneration.
Now, this is the same ABV as the standard?
No, the standard is 14.7.
And this
Actually, no. The standard for 2021 was 14% because I was able to procure a couple bottles back when I lived in Georgia.
And what's this one at?
14%. But the 2018 and 2019 were 14.7.
So this is the regular
standard 2021 ABV percentage. It's just got extra stuff in it, and it's a cola variant. Their take on a classic cola. So yeah, I'm gonna let you go first with the aromas that you're getting.
All right. Well, I just took a quick sniff, and I'm gonna go with leather, plum, slight chocolate note. Those are the first three things that hit me.
Very similar to the standard Bourbon County in a lot of ways. Are you picking up
molasses,
brown sugar, and what about coriander? Nothing on the
I didn't pick anything up like that on the first whiff, but it was just kind of first whiff.
I will say that this, to me, smells much like the standard Bourbon County. You're getting a little bit of dark fruit. You're getting like a toffee note. The roasted malt. Of course, the barrel comes through.
There's a burn. There's a little bit of a peppery burn on the nose, which coriander. You're looking at black pepper and kind of like lemon type notes. I do get a little bit of this black pepperiness on the nostrils.
Is there anything on the nose that you would say suggest a cola type of a thing going on with it? For me, I would say no. It smells a lot like the standard Bourbon County, maybe a little bit more sweet, like brown sugary on the nose. But other than that, I would say there's really not much of a difference on the aroma. I think the palate's going to be a different story.
There is a difference because I have had the standard, and I still have another standard bottle. There is a difference in the aromatics on this one.
Okay.
It's a bite. It's a little bit of a bite. It might be a citrus. It might be a citrus note where they did add
The
Yeah.
coriander, yeah.
There is kind of this like bite to it, like
Natural vanilla flavor. What about that? Are you picking up on any of that?
I picked up on a little bit of chocolate. And
I think
I think a lot of times chocolate and vanilla.
And
kinda-
vanilla, they go hand in hand a lot of
Because
times.
vanilla is usually mixed to make a more bitter chocolate.
Well,
than
vanilla
sweeter
with chocolate syrup is a chocolate milkshake, right?
Yeah.
Everything is based with the vanilla.
Yeah, so I'd say there's a hint of citrus note to it, and in which I've never correlated cola with citrus, but it does kind of bring out something that does remind me a little bit of cola.
There is a little bit. The more I smell it, a little bit of a citrus thing that comes through.
Yeah, there actually is a little bit of this kind of hint of cola. Now, if I didn't know that this was a cola, would I have picked that out? No. But
we're
just
only
having
on
that
the
in back-
aroma.
yeah, having that in the back of the mind.
I
there
think
is a slight bit of a cola.
so. For me, I wouldn't say cola, but I would say that if you gave me this and the regular 2021 variant side by side, and it was a blind just smell and taste, there would be obvious differences, but I wouldn't necessarily attribute those differences to the cola thing. But anyway,
you get a little bit of the barrel out of it.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's as.
I would say some dark fruit, and honestly, with this one, I kind of, and maybe it's because we've had a few beers already, and my nose and palate are a little bit more acutely aware of what's going on, but I would say that I'm almost getting a little bit of a the dark fruit, but a little bit of a tobacco thing on the nose with this one.
I could see that.
It's a sweet yellow tobacco, but I think that could also be emphasized and more pronounced because of the brown sugar.
It's not as much like
The
once again,
brown
it's not
sugar
as much as like the standard. The standard one did scream like leather and tobacco and chocolate.
This one's a little bit on the sweeter side,
and the oak and stuff like that. The I think the barrel aging on this one doesn't kind of, it's there, but it's not.
I love you, man. I'm gonna taste. I'm gonna get into this now.
I'm gonna drink
We've
it.
been talking about it for 7.5 minutes. We
Cheers.
haven't even tasted it. There's more cola on the palate. The essence of a cola.
This is a thinner body than the other the standard.
You know what I'm gonna? Well, I don't necessarily agree with, or I can't really speak to that, because when I drink these, usually I start out with them cold, and as they warm up, they thin out. I bet if this was in the fridge, it would be a little bit more syrupy. This is room temperature. We're drinking this at room temperature.
This is definitely thinner than the beer we had earlier, though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But that wasn't a Bourbon County. That was a Trillium.
Well, no, yeah.
Almond cake.
The Equilibrium.
Oh, well, both. It's thinner than both of those. Yeah. I don't know if it's thinner than the standard 2021 Bourbon County, because it's been a while since I've had that. But this is one of the reasons that I've always enjoyed the Bourbon County, because it is a little bit thinner. You get all of the complexity, all of the flavor without the motor oil viscosity.
There's a bit of a bite to this one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Too.
I'm picking up, the first time I had this, and I didn't review it, but I tried. I just drank it.
This is my first time.
About a week and a half ago, I guess. And I drank it out of the fridge, and as it warmed, it developed, but it didn't have, like, I will say that the cola notes are coming through more now, this time around, and I think it's because it's at room temperature. So I'm picking up more of the characteristics of the cola.
I mean, I definitely get, there's a slight chocolate. It's not super chocolatey. There's a slight chocolate note in there. It's not like really even a milk chocolate. It is more kind of that mid-grade chocolate to me, that special dark maybe. So it's like a sweeter dark chocolate. It's a bit milder. I think that there's a plum note that comes through even stronger than that.
There's definitely a dark fruit,
fruit, plum
to
type thing. Dates, whatever the hell you want to call them.
Date, fig, maybe fig.
Yeah.
But for sure, dark fruit. The tobacco note is there.
That's on the tail end for me.
With not as, I'm telling you that Trillium had so much tobacco in it. This one's minimal compared to that. But there is definitely that classic Bourbon County sweet tobacco note. I think the brown sugar is the biggest difference between the regular Bourbon County and this. It adds a complex. It adds most of the cola notes. I don't like coriander. I'm not picking up on coriander at all. There may be a little bit of a.
There's a bite to this one, and that might be
that may be the coriander.
It's at the tail end, right?
But when I think of coriander, I think of Blue Moon and Shock Top and the Belgian Wit type style beers, and that's a very distinct flavor.
Have you ever had coriander seed?
Oh, yeah.
or Grant's Paradise?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, and you if you have the seed and you crush it up, it's like a black pepper and like lemon.
Yeah. So I'm not even getting the black pepper. Hold on.
I'm getting there's a bite right before the bitterness hits at the tail end. That's where the cola kind of comes in.
Yeah.
It's right on the finish, right before you get all this. This is moderately bitter for me.
I would say if you're used to when you think coriander, or when a lot of people think coriander, they think of the Belgian Wit beers with the coriander.
A little bit peppery and lemon zest.
But to me, it comes across completely different because of what they're trying to accomplish with this beer, with the cola notes. So the combination of the brown sugar and the coriander with the vanilla flavoring, it does kind of come together as a cola note. The dark fruit, the tobacco notes are still there.
There is a brown sugar molasses.
The brown sugar molasses, which kind of goes into that cola flavoring, because Coca-Cola is very sweet. If you're drinking, get a fountain Coke. I had a fountain Coke at McDonald's the other day, against my better judgment.
Is there a chocolate cola out there?
No.
They have so many other flavors.
They have the coffee colas. They have the cherry vanilla colas.
I think if they had a chocolate cola,
this would be very similar. Yeah, you're right. But as far to my knowledge, anyway, they don't have a chocolate cola. If they did, I would buy it. They do have a space cola though, which I tried last week. Space flavored cola.
Right, cotton candy is what everybody's saying.
Similar, but to me, it didn't taste so much like cotton candy. It actually tasted more like a sweeter version of the vanilla Coke. But
the
anyway,
cherry vanilla?
No, just standard vanilla.
I used to get cherry Coke,
but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. We're talking the standard.
There's zero cherry.
There's no cherry. I'm going to defer to you, or start with you as far as what you're. Well, the body is a little bit thinner than some of the one. One of the reasons I love the Bourbon County, and we'll try not to go too long with this review, but
the alcohol is well hidden.
The alcohol is always well hidden, and there's a complexity that you get with the barrel. The tobacco notes, in particular, I really like. The dark fruit notes that you always get. The standard Bourbon County body may be a little bit more substantial than this. This comes across a little bit thinner, maybe because they're going for that cola effect. But the ABV for the 2021 standard and for the cola is right at 14%. In years past, it's been at 14.7.
Speaking of the carbonation in this, it does have
a little bit of a prickly carbonation, which maybe more so than the standard variant for this year. Maybe they actually tried to improve the carbonation a little bit.
Not quite like drinking a soda.
Right, not by any, no, not even close. But there is a more noticeable carbonation with this as well. I really like it. I knew that it was kind of gimmick. People made fun of this beer and they clowned on it before it even was released, and I was very interested to try this beer from day one because I felt like the cola notes would really work well with a barrel-aged stout. And we were, Robert the Whiskey Scout, we reviewed this earlier. He talks a lot about on Stout Sunday and some of the beer reviews that he's done on he doesn't really do it on his channel, but that he's done on other live shows with some of the barrel-aged stouts. He mentions a cola note. And I feel like that just goes hand in hand. So when you have a bourbon barrel-aged stout and you intentionally try to further add notes to that beer to make it more cola-like, I just feel like that's a match made in heaven. And this is one of my. I'm not going to give a rating because I want you to give your rating first. But this is one of my favorite variants of all of the different variants of the Bourbon County that I've had over the years, this is probably top 2. The only other one that I can think of off the top of my head that is as good, if not better, was the 2017 Northwood Stout Edition, which had almond extract and blueberry puree in it. That's the only other one that I would maybe put above this one. This is up there, though, for me. With the variants. The standard is always going to be my favorite, but this is really good. So I'd be curious to see what your thoughts are, like how high you would go. It is thin, though, but not in a all Bourbon County, and I think they wanted to maybe make it feel a little bit thinner, because if it was super thick and viscous and clingy to the inside of the cheeks and lingering, then it wouldn't really represent a cola well. And I think they did exactly what they set out to do with this beer.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep that in mind.
Right, it's tough.
It is interesting. I get a little bit of the vanilla now too, on the palate. It's a difficult. So when I had the 2021 Bourbon County, now I've had the 2019. I think I've had the 2018. I had the 2015. I think I did 2018 with also the one variant that I got of that was the orange. I think that was when they came with it. Was it 2018?
Oh, the Midnight Orange.
Midnight Orange. That sucked. The Midnight Orange sucked. There was I paid $25 to basically have something that tasted nothing like there is any difference at all. This one does have a difference. There is a difference between this one and the standard. The standard wowed me. I think I scored that because we did that as a group thing, and I can't remember. I was either at a 99 or a 98 with that one. Total complexity, delicious beer. Actually named that as a beer that the Bourbon County, basically just a standard, as a beer that, if I had to choose one beer to have as my last beer, and I said that would be it, because the reason is it was so complex, and I could sit back and just sip it and enjoy it, and you have those flavors that just linger, and you can just sit there and go, wow, so it's going to last me longer. That beer absolutely wowed me this year with the 2021. I know some of them were kind of like, oh, well, if you age it for a year or two, it changes and it gets better. The 2021 Bourbon County was just phenomenal right out of the, right when you got it, drink it. I do have one aging. I've wanted to try this one. This was one of those controversial ones where a lot of people were like, cool. And
I knew from the get-go this was going to be a good one.
I was kind of like, well, we'll see. I'm sure I won't be able to get it. I'll probably never have it because we don't get a lot of this stuff in New Hampshire. But luckily, I have a boy here in Massachusetts now from Georgia.
That's right. I got
his hands on it.
I got this at Total Wine and More in. I was working one weekend. I can't even remember. Woburn, I think, is at the Total Wine and More in Woburn. I got this. Got a couple of them. Anyway, so yes.
So I've got a long story, and the interesting thing about this one is that you can kind of get some differences from the standard. It does not. I wasn't wowed by this. This didn't wow me, but it was cool to be able to pick out, like, wow,
a little bit of difference.
That kind of does it does remind me a bit of a cola in sort, not straight up like, oh, I think I'm just drinking some type of cola, but it's like, oh, there's nuances. Okay, well, this is kind of working there, and then thinking of the different things that they added and where they kind of fall in and how it's working with it. It's interesting. So I'm at a 95.
95
out of 100 for this one. It's a good beer still. It just didn't wow me as much as the standard this year.
Right. We've had some awesome beers tonight. This one, I would say it's borderline world class, but I'm not quite there because I do prefer the standard Bourbon County. I think they did a good job with trying to create those cola notes in the beer, and the body is a little bit thinner, and the brown sugar with the vanilla and the coriander, it did come together in a way that resembles a cola. For me, it's a 97. That's a solid, a close to a world class beer, but the standard Bourbon County is always the original. Is just always the best. I have not had a variant that has been better than the original.
It's like 65% cheaper too.
Yes, you pay $12.99, $12 to $14.99 for a standard Bourbon County
versus, so maybe not 20
versus $23, $24.99 for the variants, most of the variants. So 97, and you said 95? 95. A solid A, either way you slice it. It's definitely worth a try if you're into the barrel-aged stuff. If you like Bourbon County, you're going to love this beer. It's a wonderful product. So anyway, we'll wrap it up there. Sorry for the long, drawn-out video, but sometimes beers like this deserve a little extra attention, and I feel like we did it justice with our review.
Yeah.
So,
there's differences in this one than a standard.
I think the
stout.
Yeah, I really think that brown sugar is what kind of, and the vanilla really set it over the top in the cola.
There is a slight citrus note to it too, I think.
Yeah, not as it warms. It started out at room temperature.
Yeah,
but it does have as you continue to sip on it and the palate opens up a little bit, you do pick up on more of the citrus. But anyway, awesome beer. Thanks to Bumpy for
being here
and enjoying it with me. And you provided
I'm
a lot.
so glad I drove over here.
A lot of awesome beers tonight. We've had a good time, and so that'll do it for this beer review, guys. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Buy it, try it. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Very interested to see your thoughts, the viewer, on this particular variant, if you can get it in your area. And we'll see you all in the next one. Until then, everybody, cheers.
Cheers.